Take the chains off the brains. We've been handcuffed. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. I am one of your hosts, Randy D. James.
I waited this time, and I am Ashley. And I'm Ashley, you didn't say your AKA.
I didn't say it. Good morning, good evening, good night. I am one of your hosts, Randy D. James, aka RDJ.
And I am one of your hosts, Ashley, aka Ash with the threes, aka Three Lee,
Get 'em.
aka Ash 3L3Y,
Get 'em.
aka it's threes. You know
Get
what
'em.
I'm saying? Get them.
And we come to you live. Well, at this time that you hear it, it won't be, but we are currently live right now for those that are in the Patreon. And
Yo,
I want to thank you guys for entering the gray. Um,
yes.
today's topic, it might be a couple, but depending on time, today's topic will be this kind of like enlighten more with Ash. She's carrying the topic today.
Yeah, know how I do,
Yeah, feel
which
me?
means it's going to be a great episode. I'm just playing. I ain't gonna shit on your topics. The topics are great. They're great. They're great. They're great.
Okay.
Okay, so our topic today, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna what I want our episode to be titled, but I think what I want to go with, and you let me know how you feel about that. Okay, is you heard me, but did you understand me?
All right.
Okay, it ain't that much and in it. You heard me, but did you understand me? Okay. So today I kind of want us to talk about how men communicate and how women communicate. And I know that this is a conversation that has been going on since like the dawn of time. And it's really going to be, what is it, subjective, because you may communicate differently than other men. I may
Right.
communicate differently than other women.
Right.
But I'm hoping that in this conversation, or we're hoping that in this conversation, that both sides can gain some more perspective into how to effectively communicate with each other. Now, I know the way Ash talks, you know what I'm saying? It's a little different. A lot of women don't necessarily agree with it, but I'm still going to share it. You know what I'm saying? And maybe the way that you communicate, maybe some men are like, nah, I would have said this, he did this, you know what I'm saying? And that's
Right.
okay. The purpose of this show is to spark thought and to spark dialogue, not only with other people, but within yourself. See if there's something that you can add, take away from, whatever. So I'm hoping that we're able to do that in this conversation. You got any initial thoughts before we kind of dive into it? Anything that you kind of want to say before we actually get into the topic?
Not really. I mean, once we get into it, we're gonna just disclose our kind of warning in the beginning. Like if you are
Yeah.
triggered or anything to that degree, then please we'll give you time to kind of like
See,
excuse yourself. You know
you
what I'm saying?
starting already. You already starting assuming that I'm going to be triggered. If you get triggered, okay. No, but I think what you're saying is worth being said though, right? Like not necessarily if I'm triggered, but if, this
Yeah, the
is a
people
safe
that's
space for the both of us.
right.
And I want it to remain that. We don't know what we're going to talk about, but I want it to remain that. So at any point, if we need to take a breather or just, hey, I need you to really understand what I'm saying, then we could do that. So
Oh,
I understand.
uh, I'm concerned about you. Don't get it wrong, but I was more so talking about our audience. But
Oh,
yeah, you as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm not.
me as well, me first. Then y'all.
You brought the topic up. All right.
um, But okay, so let's just dive right into the topic. They say that men speak in silence and women speak in layers, and I kind of wanted us to dive into that because I agree. Let me just start out by saying that I really do agree from experience, not just from people that I've been in romantic relationships with, but people I've reported to, like in work, family members, friendships, things like that. I would say that I would agree. Um, Actually, what I really think that it is, I think that for me, I really want to drive home what it is that I'm saying. And if I feel like you don't get what I'm saying, or this topic may be so simple, like what I'm about to say is so simple, but I feel like you may not get it or you may not take it to the severity level that I need you to take it to, I will talk using like very colorful language. I use a lot of metaphors. I put a lot of emotion into it. And for men receiving that, I have seen them shut down or they get really defensive, like I'm attacking them. And I'm like, yo, I'm just trying to tell you what I'm saying and why I'm saying it and how it is. Like if I just say like, "Can you do the dishes?" You just taking that as in any other sentence that I've ever said before, but it's not that. It's like, "Yo, can you do the dishes because like, yo, you never this and you know what I'm saying?" Like, and I know we kind of talked about absolutes a little bit in I believe it's a prior episode or a couple episodes ago. Um but I feel like we need to, as women, we need to do that because we can see as we're talking to y'all, like we read y'all body language, we take in what y'all say back to us, and it's like, no, you're missing the point. No, you don't get it. You don't understand what I'm saying. I'm saying this, I'm saying that. And so I feel like when we do that, people that we talk to, and it could be other women, you know, sometimes, but mainly when we're talking to men, it just doesn't go over well. And so it causes a rift in our communication and it causes problems. Um, do you agree with that? Or have you experienced that?
Yes and no. I think
Okay.
it's like you said, everybody don't think the same, and
Mhm.
being that people don't think the same, their actions, their questions, their demeanor is different.
Mhm.
So, um, but what I can say on the men's side, I mean, we don't speak in layers. Now, I think we kind of have our moments where we beat around the bush, but the speak in silence that you speak of, it's more so conditioning, cultural conditioning that we kind of experience growing up because we're told to be direct or subtle. You know what I'm saying? That
Mhm.
emotions shows weakness. So we get taught, hey, man up. You know what I'm saying? Don't cry, tough it out. You know what I'm saying? So these are things that's training us to suppress our vulnerability or
Mhm.
or prioritize like stoicism, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And for those who don't know what stoicism is, it's more like enduring pain, you know what I'm saying, the hardship of something without like displaying some type of emotion. So um when we do speak in silence, we kind of like take in whatever's being said and just be like, okay, all right, cool. Don't worry about it. I got it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tough it out. I ain't gonna cry about it. And that's why on my end, I feel like that's how, things end up being translated. But I mean, everybody interpret it different. People grow up, well, no, men grow up into adults and they learn to communicate with facts or fixes or silence. And they do that without including feelings. So that's why, I feel like the speaking silence thing is kind of a thing because we get straight to it. All right, that's what you said. Okay, it is what it is, and we let it go. You know,
Mhm.
instead of women, I almost said y'all. Instead of women layering it on, like, hey, but I said this and I said that. I'm like, hey, and that's why you think I take silence as peace sometimes, because
I do.
sometimes it is, man. Like, I hear
But
you. I'm listening. I'm doing both. Okay,
there's so much that you said.
I did.
Here here I go with my layers. No. um but what you said makes sense. It's just I think that men are so surface level.
That's
Be-
hearing though. Hearing is very surface level, and listening kind of gives you that deeper engagement. So even just to start off top, like as a base, like, are you hearing me or are you listening? If you're hearing, you're doing surface level. It's like the radio in the background. You know what I'm saying? Like you aware of there's a noise, but you're not truly like engaging or absorbing what is actually being said, right? So when
Yeah.
you're listening, you know what I'm saying, it's more of a mental and emotional effort, you know what I'm saying? So you
Right.
have to actually be active and tuned in
Yes.
to the process to actually respond when you're listening.
Yes.
So
Which is why I think that men hear, but they don't listen. I think women listen, and while you think that you might have said something that is surface, it's hitting me in all my different layers. Like it's affecting me because I'm listening not just with my mind or listening just to respond as most men think that we are. I don't think that we are. I just think that we're better at tapping into our emotions quicker and into our feelings quicker and into our thought process quicker because we've been given the freedom to do that, which is an unfair advantage, right? And I think that's also another thing that probably is probably something deeper is like maybe men want to feel. I might be speaking out of turn. I feel like men want to feel superior. I think it's a prideful thing, stick your chest out. You know what I'm saying? I think men want to feel superior. And if a woman is able to
you think
have
it's
a,
you think it's egotistical?
I do, and I feel like we could touch on that in a little bit. I do. I think that men want to feel superior in a conversation, or at least within themselves. I don't think men like to lose in anything. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like if they're having something as simple as a conversation, if they perceive themselves as losing the conversation, because they haven't been able to express emotions and things like that, they want to drop it. They want to be done because they don't know what to do. They go into rage or anger or, you know what I'm saying? They're over it. Whereas the woman that they're communicating with who's been able to express herself to talk and listen, because women are going to listen to you. Women listen to other women talk. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, um, we've been able to tap into these emotions and things like that quicker. And so it's like, dang, she has the upper hand on me. I don't like it. And so I think it probably subconsciously maybe does that. I don't think that y'all actively are thinking about that. And I know it's not all men. Y'all are speaking absolutes, but I understand that it's not all men. But I'm just saying, like, in my experience or what I perceive, it's like it's something that y'all don't want to lose at. Um, and also like I feel like y'all or men listen to what's being or y'all hear what's being said and y'all want to fix it really quick, even if the solution is bad. Whereas women want to get to the root of it so that we can pluck it so it never becomes a problem again. So I feel like men want band-aids and women want to do surgery. Like let's really get to the root of this. I think men say that they want to get to the root of the problem, but the digging is not something that is the digging in a conversation is not something that's normal to a man. Sit next to any woman, she could talk your head off. It is nothing to her. She don't even realize that 30 minutes passed. I don't even realize the time is passing in the podcast and when I'm talking because I've just been raised to be as free as I can, and men haven't. And so I think that men look at it as like a disadvantage. And since the dawn of time, the reason why showing emotions and stuff like that is deemed as weakness is because of like I feel is the whole toxic masculinity thing. And I know that we got an episode coming up with that. But I feel like it's the whole toxic masculinity thing that is associated with a woman, and a woman is a weaker species. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think it has to do with not feeling weak. And when you do feel weak, it's like, let me just shut this down. The respectful ones are like, let me just shut this down. There are disrespectful ones who are like, let me attack. And I've been in both situations. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Um, so yeah, that's what I think.
I think I've seen something where it says something to the degree that research shows that male brains tendency have a stronger connection within the hemisphere. You know what I'm saying? Which means it stays in one side. Which kind of supports men being focused and like task based when it comes to communication. And the
Mhm,
female brains, um, they more have a cross hemisphere activity, and
mhm,
it links the emotion. um, and their language more fluent to kind of connect both of them to kind of actually portray what they're saying. So that don't mean that men can't really express themselves emotionally. It just means that it's not a natural or comfortable thing for a man to do, or for some to do
Yeah.
anyway. So I mean, when you said, you know what I'm saying, men try to get to the point, that's the reason why we're driven to kind of like say what we need to say without
Right.
kind of like getting deviated from it, unless men are lying, because men lie, you know what I'm saying. So we'll
Y'all are
get.
the only liars because women don't lie. I got
Don't
y'all,
do that.
girls. I
Don't do
got
that.
y'all. We
The
don't
thing.
lie. Y'all make us lie because y'all don't want to accept our truth.
So don't take accountability
I'm just
and
fucking
put it.
with you.
Oh, okay. I was,
But we
hey,
don't lie.
it's the
Men are the
it's
liars.
the lies for me. What? You just lied by saying that.
Okay, kind of.
Nevertheless, um,
Yeah,
with that
shit.
being said, that's why many men are,
Many
into what
men.
you just said, are problem solvers. So,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? They may only speak when there's like a task, a solution, or a point to get to. And the emotions just make it feel messy, you know what I'm saying? And it's like an open ended trigger, uh, or discomfort that confuses somebody, especially if there isn't a clear fix for whatever the problem is. So that's why it leads to like, oh, I'm fine. Oh, it is what it is. Or no need to talk about it, whatever the situation is, because at that point, there's not a solution that's being presented. That's how I feel. But it's an inconvenience, and it's also um, kind of a method to avoid the subject at hand, but it isn't avoidance out of disinterest. It's just a defense mechanism, if you will, or a communication habit that hasn't been unlearned. You know what I'm saying? So we're trying. It's just that it takes a bit for us to get there. We're not we're not really in that safe space to actually dive into that side of our brains to continue to give y'all
Mm.
consistency when it comes to actually tapping into, oh, I understand, oh, I'm
Mhm.
listening instead of
Mhm.
just hearing you. You know what I'm saying? So it's we got heavy tasks. Y'all have heavy tasks as well, but hey,
Okay.
I understand.
No, we,
But
we do.
yeah, hearing is just, a reactive situation. It's not responsive. You know what I'm saying? So, listening, it takes attention. It takes
Mhm.
attention. It takes empathy. You know,
Mhm.
and sometimes you have to infer things, and it requires you to read in between the lines. So, body
Right.
language, tone, subtext. That's all part of that kind of category right there. But I mean, communication is tough, especially if you can't see the person. You know what I'm saying? Y'all reading text, or y'all just talking to somebody on the phone as well. You don't
Mhm.
see the body language. Like that could be meaning something completely different. Or you can't see
Right.
facial expressions. Like
Right.
all that falls along that whole category of like communication. So, just be more direct if you can, but I guess me as a man, that's what I would say, right?
Right. Okay. Right. Right. Right.
Dang. I
Right.
just put myself in that category. But I'm emotional. I feed
You
into it.
oh
What is that?
again. You
Can you
are
can you breathe any louder?
you are but you got some damn. You have some areas where where I feel like you could use more emotion. The
I
thing
agree.
is that what I think, first of all, if we're just being real, we live in a man-made world. And I really mean men. Like y'all set up all this. Y'all didn't let women in the room when and shit were being made. Like this is a man-made world. And I feel like men since the dawn of time, since cavemen, if we believe in that, since cavemen have been like the fighters and a this and a that. And because of that, y'all had to have quick responses to like attack. Notice a threat, attack. Threat. This is a threat. This is a
Yeah,
threat, and
that's the
attack.
whole hunter gatherer situation.
Right. And so with that, I feel like that has transcended time and the way that y'all handle problems. I mean, look at what's going on in the world. Men will handle problems by saying, we need to go to war. We need to fight. We need to, you know what I'm saying? Like most of the crime, and I could be wrong, but just from what I've seen, most of the crime and stuff is like committed by men and all, you know what I'm saying? Like this is a man made world. If women were in charge in a lot of spaces, the world would look differently. First of all, we probably wouldn't be working. It wouldn't be no such thing as money. We'd just be frolicking and lollygagging all day and just having
Frolicking,
a
huh?
good time.
We out here frolic.
Frolicking.
We out here frolicking.
We frolicking, okay, on this planet, on this little rock that we floating on in the middle of nothing. Okay, we wouldn't be out here paying taxes and this and that. I think all of that stemmed from like men just wanted to be men, you know, which is fine for when it was. I don't think it's something that needs to continue on, which is why I have such a strong stance against toxic masculinity. But I won't even put that all on men because women also have a part in toxic masculinity because they benefit from it. Women benefit to some degree from toxic masculinity. And to some of the points that you were making earlier, where you were like, you know, hey, I'm emotional, I have this and all that. A lot of men can't express that at all because they don't have the safe spaces. Because women, although they're like, I want him to talk to me, it's like talking to a wall. Nah, nah, nah. The moment he opened up or the moment he start crying, you putting that nigga on social media, you telling your friends about it, you clowning him, you not making him feel safe, you talking back, you doing all of this shit that is like, damn, I want to open up to you. I want to express this. Like you as a woman have the freedom to express everything that comes with being a human. The moment that I do anything outside of anger, it's an issue. I'm sweet. I'm this. Y'all finding new ways to call somebody gay. Like, first of all, like gay is a bad thing. But y'all looking for new ways to call heterosexual men gay just because they want to be a human. That's not right. That's not cool.
Come on, somebody.
And men do that to men as well. And it's like toxic masculinity is going to be such a hard thing to break because how strong you are, how tough your chest is what makes you a man. How many boulders can you carry on your shoulders is what makes you a man. And at the end of the day, fuck men, women, all of that, you are a human and you should be treated as such, which is why the men that are around me, I treat them like humans. You can vent to me, you can talk to me, you can cry, you can be confused. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know everything. You don't even have to know how to fix it. I understand men are fixers and you don't have to know how to do it. And you're safe enough to say, I don't know. And then we come up with a solution together. You know what I'm saying? Even at work, like I make it okay that my managers can be like, you know what? I really don't know what we should do with this. Let's figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like toxic masculinity has a huge, huge position in the way that men and women communicate because and that's not to say that women communicate just so miraculously with women or men can't communicate with men just in such a great way because I think that men stay so surface and women get so deep. The the friend that hurts them or the this or that, while a man might look at that and be like, man, that ain't nothing. Well, for a woman, they've invested so many layers into this conversation, this friendship, this whatever. And men are just like, oh, hey, what's up? I've seen you 3 times. You want to go to Chili's? Want to go? You hoop on Saturdays? You know what I'm saying? Like it's not really much. It's not much depth because y'all aren't taught to go deep. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like if we were to fix that in some kind of way, and that's why I like to talk about this being a safe space here, whether
Right,
some other people agree with that or not, I know that you feel safe just from what you say on and off the camera. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I want to curate a safe space and hopefully that encourages other people to curate them for men because y'all are quote unquote the leaders, the rulers. I mean, women run the world, right? But the men are, as of right now, for most of the things that need to take place, men are in positions of power. I mean, look at what's going on with like the whole abortion thing. You know what I'm saying? Like men are in control of women's bodies and all this stuff like that. So I feel like if we can help the men to be soft and to tap into these other sides without making them feel less than. You're not less than because you cry. You're not less than because you have emotions. You're not less than because you're confused. You're not less than because you don't have the answer or you don't have the money or you don't have the resources. You're not less than. You're just human, and that's okay. I
Yeah,
feel
it
like
is
that's where we
okay.
start.
But the thing is that when a man shows any type of vulnerability,
Mhm,
that fear of vulnerability equals a fear of judgment.
mhm,
So if we show that, opening up emotionally can feel like handing over ammo to somebody to use against you. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? So if a man identity, if the gender itself is tied to being strong and capable and in
mhm,
control, and you see somebody or you see a man trying to show emotion, three things that you'll see off top.
mhm,
You'll see them feel like they're losing power,
mhm,
they're risking rejection,
mhm.
and they're being misunderstood. And it's like, oh, so you can't show any type of emotion because when you do, you don't have these three things, and they don't mean that. It just means that you're human. That's all it means.
Mhm.
So instead of like showing any type of emotion, we result to our default, which is I'll deal with it myself. Don't worry about it. I got it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. And that's why, men don't really show emotion as much as women. It's tough.
And
We can't show we can't show our soft spots unless we're in an area curated for that. If I feel safe, I will show my soft spots. But in this world ain't made for the weak.
but see, okay, we're gonna come back to the world being made for the weak because I get you. I understand. I
Ain't made for
understand.
the emotional. Oh, what other
No,
way
no,
you
no,
gonna
no, no.
do?
It's not. No, what you said isn't wrong. What you said isn't wrong. I agree with what you said. Actually, I just hate it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like just going back a little bit. Would you say? I feel like I feel like in conversations with men, especially if it's a negative one, that men kind of get jealous
What you
that
mean?
like that a woman is able to cry, be angry, and still have all these valid points and still talk circles around your ass. You know what I'm saying? Whereas you have to stay on topic. And I feel like men at that point feel inferior. And then that's when it's the I'll just do it myself or I got it or whatever. But you don't got it.
Right.
The suicide rate for men is outrageously high. You know what I mean? Because men are like, "Oh, I got it," but you really don't. And we all need each other. And if you can't go to if you want to be emotional, let's just say you didn't have any emotion, right? And there's an emotion store. You would if you want to feel emotions, you would go to the emotion store so that you can pick out some emotions, right? Or whatever. Cuz you ain't getting them wherever you at, right? So I'm saying that to say I feel
Maybe.
like well, I'm saying it how else would you get it? That's is at the store. That's the only
But
place
that's
you
what
can
I'm
get it.
saying. Maybe we don't want them. Maybe us being men, like, oh, I just gotta go buy them and I have them. If I don't already have them, guess what? I'm gonna be stronger in my person now than I would be if I had them emotions. So it's cool. I don't need them emotions.
But are you stronger? No. And I know that this is something that we
Well,
can
emotionless.
you're emotionless, but that doesn't make you stronger. It
That-
doesn't because you're not able to use all of what it is to be a human. There's a whole section of you that you can't even tap into. So you're automatically quote unquote weaker. If
I'm weaker
logic and
because I
if
don't have it.
yeah, I'm not saying that you are. I'm not saying that men are, but I'm saying if what makes up a human, if we split a human in half between logic and emotion, and men are only going with logic, women can use logic and emotion, then that would kind of make you quote unquote weaker. And maybe that's what y'all are feeling. But what I'm saying is if you can't go to where you feel like the emotion, let's say it's an emotional field, and that's where everybody goes to release, saying that the field is women, and you as a man want to go to the field and you get rejected, like, ah, look at that man, ah, he acting like a lady. you're probably not going to be you're probably not going to want to use your emotions or be emotional or anything like that. And men already aren't using their emotions. So it's like, when do you use it? How do you tap into it? You don't know how. And to say I don't know how as a man, or I can't, or what, because when you say can't, you and a man, that's what I love in basketball. But you know what I'm saying? If you wanted to do all those things, you automatically feel like
Lesser of a man.
exactly, when it's not the case. It's not the case. I'll say that because we have had the privilege of being emotional, that sometimes it is overused. I think too much of anything is bad. That too much of not having emotion and too much of using emotion, I think men and women can come together and find a good balance in between using logic and emotion, and when to use it in conversations, whether it's good or bad. I think there's a way that we can do it. And I think that if we understand all the cards that each side of the table has, we can have a better conversation. You know, I think so.
Maybe. I mean, the thing is that women want depth, you know what I'm saying? And dudes
Mhm.
want clarity. And even if that is a thing, then how do you merge the two? How do you merge the depth with clarity?
I think by understanding first that women want both. I don't know if men want both. I'm just going to speak as a woman. I want the depth and I want the clarity. But to get clear, we got to go deep. We have to. And again, I think that men are like quick problem solvers, which is why it's just like, look, oh, you made me feel disrespected. Instead of attacking like what's really going on with you
Right.
rather resort to
But
fighting or killing somebody. Like,
right, but you will like women will hit us with that, oh, do what you want, a part of the layers that you've already built up, you know what I'm saying? When under all them layers, she really means like, hey, fight for me. How do I know that? If you just told me to do what I want, I'm hearing permission. I'm hearing options. I'm hearing like there's nothing that you're expecting. So if you actually want me to do said thing, voice it. You're not invisible. Women are quote unquote taught if they don't speak up, they're invisible or play the background or whatever situation is. And men are taught expressing emotions shows them weakness. So it's like we're being taught this when we actually need to be taught both, and then women are taught this when they actually need to do both. So how do you merge the two?
I think in a conversation like that, if somebody says, you know what, just do what you want. As a woman, it's more so like, I want to see how you're going to, I want to see how you're actually going to handle this. Because at this point, I've done a lot of talking with the assumption that you're listening, not hearing me, but the assumption that you're listening.
Right.
You've been doing a lot of talking. I'm assuming that you're, you know what I'm saying, that from the lens of which I communicate, you're receiving it. Now, should I be? Probably not. But if it's like a, you know what, just do what you want, I'm just going to take it as that. And that's not even me saying you have permission. That's me saying, I want to see how you're going to show up. You want to solve the problem? Let's see. Yes, I am saying fight for me. Yes, I am saying fix this. Yes, I am saying all of those things. And guess what? I probably have said those things. But as a woman or a person in general, I don't think it matters between men or women. Well, if you have to beg for anything, I think that's just a common thing amongst humans. Like, nobody wants to beg for things that they feel like they rightfully deserve. If I'm giving you love, time, and attention, I don't think I should have to beg for those things back. I think reciprocity should be a thing.
Right.
So if I'm communicating with you and we have an issue and I'm saying, I don't really like this, blah, blah, blah. And it got to the point where I need to say, like, just do you. Just do what you want, just whatever. Yeah, it might sound like I'm just over it, and I just might be, but really
It
I'm
does
saying
sound
that because you're not showing up. You're not fully present. I can tell by your responses you're not fully engaged, because if you were, I feel like emotionally, right? It's the emotional part. The emotional piece is probably lacking, and that's the part where you come in and you're like, I need to hear your emotions. I need to hear you be like, "No, I love you. I this, I that," because I'm sure that woman has said it to her a million times or showed it a million times, but she's missing that, or that person, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's missing that from you. So yeah, you do what you do. Go ahead. Yeah, I am saying fight for me, but at this point, I don't want to beg for it. So are
I
you gonna
think
willingly give it or not?
I think it's about actually translating that or communicating that more effectively. The
How?
mismatch the mismatch can lead to being frustrated. It can lead to you being upset. It can lead to you being like, you know what, do what you want. But just because I don't value or put it in a bigger pedestal or larger pedestal than you do, it doesn't mean that I don't care. If
But you don't
just
care
because
as
it
much.
No, it's just that the lack of the shared emotional language that we both communicate in are different. You communicate that way with your emotions. My communication is different with actions. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm going to communicate that I care in a different way than you care, and it's not it feels like it's not being received, or I'm not listening. I am listening, but I have to show it in a different way. So the different way that I am showing it in is probably not the right way, but you're still not going to communicate that until it becomes a problem, until you confront me with the conflict. You feel me? So, I mean, it's just going to be a revolving door until either the man gets it right or the woman can effectively communicate it, or they both just call it quits and like, you know what, you're not my person.
What's true, which I'm an advocate for.
Yeah.
My thing
I
is
don't know.
that for sure. But my thing is just kind of thinking about how we have been talking about how we communicate. Again,
Right.
I feel like men look for a quicker response. And so it's like, I'll handle it, I'll do it. Where you were hearing what she was saying, but you weren't truly listening to what she was saying, and not just listening to this conversation, but every other conversation that has been had around this topic or in general. If you're listening, then you would kind of know how to position yourself and show up in a way that when you do go to fix it and you do show her that you care, you're actually doing it in the way that she wants it.
Right.
You're showing
Yeah.
her that you appreciate her in the way that she wants it because you've been listening, not just hearing she wants to be appreciated. This is the way that you know how to show appreciation. So you're going to do. No, listen to what she's saying. Pay attention to how she's showing up. You know what I'm saying? Like women drop hints all the time.
That's
You
the
know what I'm
thing.
saying?
It's the hints. You
But
know what
it's
I'm
not
saying?
in a bad way. It's more so like, you can be out with your girl and she's or y'all watching a movie and she's like, "Oh my god, I love like this. I love that. I love this." And the guy is whisking her away on some romantic getaway, or he made a picnic basket, or all these reels that get shared nowadays or whatever. It's like, "Oh, I love that." Your ass will never do it. And talk about some, I do show you. She's telling you what she likes. Now she doesn't have to explicitly sit down with an instruction manual and be like, do A, B, C, and D, because then it's not genuine, it's not authentic, and it's not that you doing it from your heart. She wants to know that you have listened and gathered intel and taken it into consideration and want to pour because you feel this way about her. You want to do these things. And this goes for romantic relationships or any kind of relationships that
Yeah.
you have. They want to know that you're actually listening and doing those things instead of just hearing it. And women have a problem with that too. Like men will go the whole relationship like doing and doing and doing and doing and doing for the woman. The woman ain't done shit for the guy. The guy said he want a break. Look at how he take his breaks. And you know what I'm saying? Or ask him out loud, like, what is it that you want? How do you want to break? How do you feel this? What do you do to feel peace? He's probably never felt peace a day in his life, but he's yearning for it. Look at little ways to kind of introduce that into his life, whether that is watching a show or watching a reel or, you know what I'm saying, just really listening, paying attention to people. It's really not hard to do. It's not hard to be considerate. Like the things that you want people to do for you, because I feel like we live in a world where everybody really feels lonely and feels like they're lacking something on the inside and they're looking for another person to complete them. The things that you want, like, oh, it's just somebody who do this. Start doing it for yourself, and then you'll start to appreciate, like, oh, okay. You'll be a cheerful giver at that point when you notice that somebody else is lacking. You know what I mean? Like, or maybe it's not even a place of lack, but just that somebody wants or desires something. It's not hard. It's really, really not hard.
I don't think it's hard, but I think it's capacity. That's what makes it difficult. I
What?
mean,
What you mean?
if you're looking at something on TV and you're like, "Oh, I love love like this" or something like that, and he just got a carriage ride downtown, or he just got a private jet flying over something like, we ain't got private jet money.
But you
What?
know what you do have?
We ain't got a private jet. What?
Okay, but listen, with women, women are so easy. We're
That's not
so
true.
no, listen, I'm about to tell you how easy we are. Okay? If let's just say,
Some.
okay, okay, sure, some.
Thanks.
Okay, cool. Some women are so easy. I say the vast majority of us are. Let's
That's
just
tough.
say that you couldn't um take us on that carriage ride, but
Right.
you were at home and you decorated the chairs in the dining room like something, I don't know, like a fake carriage or whatever, and y'all like sitting in it and y'all sharing some like little meal, or you got it's in front of the TV and you got the TV on like a fake scenery of something, and you telling her how much you
That's
love
cute.
her. Exactly. And you know how she's gonna feel appreciated. It's like, yo, I know he would love to do this thing, but she knows you don't have the capacities to do it. She's not asking you to take her on $1 million yacht, and she knows that you don't have the capacity. She understands that, but she's saying, yes, this is what she wants, but she's wanting the love and affection. I say women are easy because of that. It's not hard to show us that you care and that you're thoughtful. I
Right.
just
But
had
how many times are you willing to accept a living room carriage or an outdoor picnic inside of your apartment or some to that degree versus to what you actually seen and what you actually want? What you said you wanted, this is a substitute for that. But how many of these I'm trying to be intentional to give you what you want situations are you going to accept until you realize, you know what, these are cute, but this is not really what I want. In the beginning, it started out cute. In the
mhm,
beginning, you hey, I love you,
mhm,
but at the same time, it's like, after receiving something, it's like, yeah, okay, when is this gonna come into fruition? When is this actually gonna happen?
mhm,
When I'm actually visually gonna be in the place that I said that I love that was on that screen? And it's
right.
like, oh well, I ain't got it. So then it comes the question to like, were you listening to me? Yeah, I was listening. That's why I did what I did. And you know what I'm capable of, or you know what our finances look like, or you know what this relationship looks like, or whatever the degree is. I really don't have the capacity to do it like that. So then you get hit with oh, I just feel like you really don't care lately. And it's like, I do care. And then if he's hearing you, he's gonna say something to the degree like, I literally just did what you asked me to do. I
Mhm,
literally just done. Like, what more do you want? You know what I'm saying?
right.
But if you're listening or being active or trying to be emotionally intelligent about the conversation or whatever the situation is, you'll kind of express it more emotional. Men who do try to tap in with their partner is more emotional. They'll hit them with you know what? I'm sorry that you're feeling that way. Um, I was trying to take into account what you said you wanted. Can you help me understand what's making you feel that way? If you feel uncared or if you feel unloved, what more can I do to actually make you feel like I'm listening to you? So even with both of them responses, it's more so like the result might end up being the same because you can't do what exactly she wants you to do. So how am I supposed to take that? Am I supposed to just be auto fix? Go out there and rob something, as you said? Um, Statistically, I think men are killing it with the crimes, which is it's not the right thing to say,
Damn.
but
No, yeah.
but statistically, men are arrested more than women for crimes. I think it's like 80% men, 20% women, something to that degree. And it's because we have to be fixers. Oh, you know what? I gotta go get this for my kid. It ain't always gotta be your partner. I gotta get this for my kid. My moms need this. Oh, I need to eat, blah, blah, blah. And we go out and do our thing. But even with our partners, it's like, hey, I tried to go out here and do this for you. You said that you wanted this. What now it's my fault? It's my fault for listening?
Ooh, I like how you said that. It's my
Yeah.
fault for listening.
It's my
So
it's my fault for listening.
there's a couple things to answer your original question for Ash. How long am I going to accept that? I'll accept it forever. If,
Uh,
if,
Contingency.
oh, absolutely. And it's a contingency the other way too, and Imma get to that. Remind me if I don't. It's a contingency the other way. I will do that if I see that you are the type of person that really is working to prove, to really show me every fucking day that you love me, you care about me, and it doesn't matter what is going on. You want me to be happy. You give a fuck about my happiness. You give a fuck about me. You're every, like, you know what I'm saying? You know that I got you, and you just want to see me fucking smile, and just you want to show me how much you love me every single day. There are men out here that do that for women. So yes, I'll accept the fucking dining room horse and carriage because I know that he's going to do the sensible thing that it takes. He's going to make sure that he puts himself in a position in life where he is able to afford more and more and more. And I, as a logical person, is not going to look at him go from, and this is no shade or anything to anybody, but I'm not going to look at him going from flipping burgers to now he has a corporate 9 to 5 and be like, well, I'm not on the yacht yet, which goes to the other contingency. I think the guy should do it until he realizes that the woman that he's doing it for is ungrateful and
Uh,
perpetuating the toxic masculinity. You ain't never enough. You ain't doing this. Bitch,
why
you
is
knew
that?
what I had.
Why is it not toxic femininity then? That's the thing.
Because it's more so feeding into the toxicity that the man already has, that he needs to do this.
Yeah, but you
But
just said he did the right thing, and
well,
then
but okay, so yeah, toxic femininity. Okay, so yes, it is being a toxic, it's a dangerous woman actually, because that type of woman or that type of person, but since we're talking about women, I will keep it here. That type of person, because you unfortunately got that man that women are out here begging and pleading for, that man will do anything to show you that he loves you every fucking day, in the way, not in the ways that he wants to show you, but in the ways that he knows that you want or
right,
is trying to. Your ungrateful ass is going to make him feel less than, and then he is going to do those immoral things to get the money, to get the thing, and that's not how it should be.
right,
Realize that if you are drawn to do anything immoral to show somebody that you care for them, or they make you feel less than with the little bit that you have for what you have, they're saying you're not enough already. You'll never be enough for them. You never will. And that's not a person that you need to be with. It's just
right,
not. It's unfortunate and you need to move on. That is not your person. There are plenty of people out here that would love a dining room carriage situation. They would love, they're yearning for someone to say, oh, you put some thought into me. I didn't have to tell you this. You wanted to show me today that you care about me, that you love me, that you this. There are people out here doing it. I have a friend, and I'm gonna send this episode to her. I think she watches, but I have a friend who is dating this guy. She's been dating him for 3 weeks. She's been, oh girl, I might get it wrong. I think she's been a medical assistant or a nurse or something like that for like the past, or psychiatrist or some shit like that for the past 11 years. And they weren't able to be together physically. He arranged for her to go to Olive Garden at 2 p.m. He told her, hey, show up at 2 o'clock. And actually,
right.
her manager came to her and was like, yo, be at Olive Garden at 2 o'clock. And she like, what the hell? Then he, like, throughout the day, she tried to figure out like why I gotta go there. Then he finally messaged her, was like, hey, you going to Olive Garden at 2 o'clock. Boom. He arranged that. She had been saying on while they was talking and stuff on the phone, that she needed a coffee mug because she's starting to put this whatever into her coffee now. She just having regular conversation. He also told her after she enjoyed her meal that he paid for completely and everything. He paid for all of that. He also told her, hey, yo, go to Best Buy. There's a pickup order for you under this name. Go pick it up. And it was a Yeti like coffee mug thing or whatever. And that's only 3 weeks. That's only 3 weeks. I will accept that. Some people will be like, oh, he only did Olive Garden. There are bitches who will be like, that nigga Olive Garden, bitch, I need Nobu. You know what I'm saying? And it'll make that man feel less than when it's not. I'm just saying, like, Some people are just really ungrateful and unrealistic, and they're requesting so much from the other person because they
Right.
know that they don't have the ability within themselves to give it. But if you find somebody that's willing and trying and is really putting forth effort, letting nothing come in the way of showing you, even if it is the smallest thing, he can't afford a bouquet, but he can afford one motherfucking rose, or that nigga draws you a motherfucking rose on a card with some thoughtful words and sends it to you, I will pick that man every day. And that man needs to be with somebody who appreciates that. The moment that other person shits on it, leave, leave, leave. If people make you feel inadequate for what you have to offer, leave.
Mm.
That is not your person. It's not.
I believe
So,
that.
and that's why I will leave. I'm just saying, let me stop talking about I'm a leave. I want to be in love. I want to be in, I am in love.
Okay,
I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm in
you're
love. No,
cracked.
I'm in love because I talk about leaving in every fucking episode, but your girl's in love. Okay, I'm in love.
Hmm. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, see, yeah.
And then you're gonna do the dash on his ass. Here you
No,
go.
no. I'm gonna dash to him down the aisle. You know what I'm saying? I want to
I
marry
like
him.
that.
So there's that. But see, people can change. I'm just lying. Let me not. Um, so we already talked a little bit.
No, people can't change. You're right.
Yeah, people could change, but that doesn't mean that they change for you. And that, as a matter of fact, I stand firmly on the fact that they did not change for you if y'all are no longer together. But if y'all are together, then that person did make some changes for you, and that's cool too. But I don't think that people should be changing too much. And I don't know if we talked about this on the show or if we talked about this in like, you know what I'm saying, just you and I individually of like, yes, make changes that benefit you as a person. But if it's so many changes, or if it's all these changes that need to benefit the relationship, that's not your person. You're just trying to make it fit. You're trying to make it work. But if the changes better you as a person, as a man or a woman, then yeah, sure. But don't make all these changes. You know, this girl, she wants this, and I need to do this, and I need to do that, and
Yeah,
that's not.
but she
Mm-mm,
also could be right too.
she
The
not.
thing, yeah, the thing with that is that people let pride and ego get in the way of change. Sometimes you need to change. Like you're so stuck in your ways and you just feel like, oh, I gotta be this person all the ways and I'm not the problem, she the problem, or he the problem. No. Just the way men have egos, women do too. Just the way
Yeah, but
men have pride, women do too.
changes for you as a human. If the change benefits me, if you want me to change and the change benefits me, whether I'm in your presence or not, it's for my character. If it's like, yo, you talk too sharp, Ash, like, chill. That's not a change for the relationship. That's a change for me as a human because I'm talking to, unless you only see that person talking that way to you and never to anyone else. But the way
Mm.
that I show up authentically. So I'm the same way in every arena, which is why my managers and stuff can't really stand me all like that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm this way in every arena. So if you're telling me this, you're not telling me just because it benefits the relationship. You're telling me this because it benefits me as a human. When you start saying that I should be doing this or I should have this by now, or no, the person that you want should. I'm not the person. And you're not
Yeah.
about to sit here and mold me into
Into
some
the
person
person
that,
that
yeah,
you yeah.
exactly. Do the work. That's just your cheap, easy way out of actually doing the work to go find your person. You're trying to make somebody your person. No. Go do the work. Go through all your no's and all the heartache or whatever you got to go through, or all the time alone, the isolation, and then get with your person. I'm not your person, and you're not going to make me feel inadequate just because I can't do this, or by this time I should be doing this and I should be doing that. No, I shouldn't. You want that for your relationship. This doesn't make me better as a person. And the next
Okay.
relationship probably doesn't even require this. My person probably don't even give a fuck about none of this shit you requiring of me. And I know that for
So
a fact.
so the question is that how okay, say your person you, okay, how to word this. All right, you just mentioned saying something to the degree like, you know what I'm saying, I want my person to do this, I want my person to do that, or something to that degree, right?
Mhm.
What if that the person that they're with is so stagnant, they're trying to push that person to be who they know they're capable of being or said that they wanted to be, but the person isn't doing the change. how can you effectively communicate that to like, hey, I see this greatness in you. I see this
Mhm,
spark in you. You have this energy. You have this aura about yourself, but you're not tapping into it like the way you should. And
mhm,
this is what I'm trying to do to convey that message or trying to get you to do this said activity you want to do.
mhm,
And now you feel like I'm trying to change you or mold you. I'm just
mhm.
trying to help get you to the person that you said you wanted to be.
Right. Which is a different type of change, which is the good change. If this is just the person that you said that you wanted to be, not I want to do this so that I can do this for you. If you start saying that, I don't want it. I don't want you to do this so that you can do this for me. I don't
Yeah,
necessarily want that.
I learned that
But
the hard way.
right, I don't want that. But if I'm trying to figure out the best way that
I think as long as they don't allow their ego to get in the way, then the change can happen because the ego is fragile. It's defensive. It's rooted in insecurity. You know what I'm saying? So ego is more of a negative thing versus positive. It's like an inner protector. And like, hey, you're trying to attack somebody who I am. I'm not gonna allow you to do that. I'm gonna build this wall. I'm gonna build this wall. No, you can't. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
I
Why?
got you.
Because they're trying to help you do something. Let
Right.
your pride shine, which is more of an honoring aspect of yourself. It's more positive. Let your pride shine through this process into being who you say you wanted to be. It's okay. It's okay for change. Show your pride. Let go of the ego.
And I'm with you on that. I think that if I'm trying to make sure that I word this effectively, but I feel like you have to listen to one of the things that I often say is who you are or who you perceive that you are and who you actually are like two different things. I say that a lot because it's true. Sometimes it's in a good way, sometimes it's in a bad way. Sometimes it's a gut punch like, damn, I just keep talking about the shit. You know, the way that the brain works is like if you say it or if you visualize it, your brain will think that it actually happened, which is like with anxiety and all that shit like that.
Right.
Or even when you want to accomplish things, like you know what I'm saying, you think it hard enough, you'll think that it actually happened. So you could be
Right.
talking a good game of like, I want to be a this, I want to be a that, I want to be a that, I want to be a that. And you repeated it so much that you think that you actually are, your brain will start thinking that you actually are, but you're not. And you haven't done these things. So if I if I care about you, I will do one of two things. I maybe it's three. I will have a conversation because you know what the third one is. Peace. You know what
I'm
I'm
gone.
saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
But
a
but what I would do is I would have a conversation with you and say, yo, you know what I'm saying? You keep saying that you know, you want to work on your health or you want to work on this, you want to do that, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not noticing any
any
changes
change.
in what you're doing. You keep talking about it, but you've been talking about it for the past year or since I've known you or whatever. And you haven't actually made the real steps and done the hard work to actually do the thing.
Do it.
You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So I will have the conversation with you. And that's step one. The other part to that is Imma leave your ass if I
Cut
notice
on.
nah, I'm out of here. If I notice that you are a good talker, you're just a talker. There's no action. I'm setting myself up for doom. How can I ever expect that you're going to give a fuck about me if you're not even giving a fuck about you? I can't expect you to love me when you don't even love you. You know what I'm saying? You don't even hold your own commitments. How the fuck Imma expect you to commit to me? You know what I'm saying? So there's that. The other thing, which
That's
is
hard.
for real, and the other thing that a lot of people kind of fall trap to, whether it's men or women, is that you're looking at the other person and that potential, but really, and I think you've said this before too, it's really what you would do if you were in that person's shoes. And I do that a lot. I see so much potential in so many people, but it's not true. It's just me visualizing like them executing something that all the plans that I have. You
Yeah.
know me, I'm like, this shit easy. That's an easy
Yeah.
fix. A lot of the problems that people go through, I'm like, this shit easy as fuck. But it's because I've gone through it or I've done something similar. And I'm like, if people just take the action to get the shit done, that shit,
Can
okay.
be done. Yeah.
Ooh, what's so hard about that? You know what I'm saying? But I remember being stuck. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. I empathize with it, but I'm no longer there at that level. And I don't want to accept that because I'm gonna spend so much time trying to get you here that I have to bring myself down because
Frustrating
clearly
that.
you're here.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And the reason why I can recognize it is because I'm no longer there.
I've been there.
So
Hmm.
yeah, I'm not about to bring myself down. I will say what I say to see if you realize, like, oh, you slipping. Because we'll need to do that as teammates. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna make this friendship, this whatever work, you know what I'm saying? We gotta be teammates. So it's like, okay, cool. You catch me when I'm slipping, I'll catch you.
Yeah.
But
Hold
if
each other
you,
accountable. Yeah.
yeah, if I gotta keep looking back for the goddamn baton and you still at the motherfucking start saying, I really want to win this race. I really want to do it. Then you know what I'm saying? I gotta go. Or
Bitch, start running.
exactly, exactly. So if you notice that the way that somebody is perceiving themselves versus what they're actually doing is not aligning, that's not a trigger for you to keep pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling because ultimately at the end of the day you can't live somebody's life for them. You can
No.
wish them the best, you can hope the
Right.
best, but they actually have to do it. And maybe, which is why I'm always an advocate for removing my presence, maybe my presence being gone is going to be that driver for you to be like, oh shit, I'm still standing here. The race done, the lights off, everybody went home. I'm still fucking standing here. Oh shit. Okay. That's what they meant. But if you still, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. I can see what you're saying with that. Like I try to state that so many times with the people that I was with, like, oh, you're
mhm,
gonna be this, you're gonna be that. Oh, I can't wait till you do this. Like, oh, I love you who for you are now,
mhm,
but wait to who you become. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? And I think there was times where I said that, and that was like, oh, so you're gonna love me for who I am versus for who I am now. Like,
mhm,
yeah, I love both of them already, but I'm just letting you know, like, you're gonna be great.
mhm,
And they kind of took it negative versus as in me actually pushing them up or
mhm,
appreciating who they are at this point in their life. And
mhm,
it was tough, you know what I'm saying? So after, time progressed, even friends and relationships,
mhm,
after times progressed, it was more so like, you know what? I need to excuse myself. And when I excuse myself, and when they realize they didn't have that access to me no more, they end up becoming that person. So you know what I was doing? I was holding you back from being
right,
exactly who you needed to be. You know what
right,
I'm saying? Or
right,
who you wanted to be. Let's say
right,
that. Because who you need to be, I don't know who that is. But who you wanted to be, I
mhm,
held you back from being that person. And look, thrive in life. If that's what you want to do, if you're happy, great. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And if you're not, great. Because either
right,
way, I'm not in your life anymore. You know what I'm
right,
saying? So I
right,
can't, I can't, I don't have any more statements or I don't have any more encouragement for you. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like I done my job. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
In that season of my life, I done what I needed to do to get you where you needed to go, and that's
yeah,
fine. You know what I'm saying? But I did have I yeah, I did. I did have a lot of moments to where I wasn't removing myself out of people's lives. And it's been a journey, you know what I'm
mhm,
saying? But the more that I see that I can benefit somebody by leaving and staying,
mhm,
hey, deuces. I'm
yeah,
gone too. Like,
yeah,
hey, if I need to scoot,
yeah.
Corvette. You feel me? So
I'm in
I,
the hood,
I do
baby.
agree with yeah, I do
Yeah,
agree with what you're saying for sure, for sure.
yeah,
Sometimes we gotta leave in order for somebody to grow.
yeah. And you grow. You grow when you leave because you're training yourself not to stay in places that don't serve you. Why would I be in this environment that is not serving me? Yeah, I need to get on up out of here. You know what I'm saying? So, and
Well,
that
I
goes
was I was trying to I'm trying to pull people with me, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to,
mm-mm,
hey, let's go together, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but the
hey,
wrong people. So you would have
it's
got to
and
where
that's
you
what
needed to
and
be.
that's what I was about to say. It's the wrong
Hmm.
people, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
which
I
is
had
go ahead. Just
no, you got it.
no, because I was gonna say this kind of goes into my like, if you are my ex anything, ex friend, ex cousin, ex partner, yeah, sometimes we gotta cut these family members off too.
Ex
Yup.
cousin?
Yeah, fuck that. Yo, hey, I don't fuck with you no more. You know what I'm saying? Ex whatever, ex uncle, whatever you is. You know what I'm saying? You are that for a reason because there's something that happened that did not serve me. Now, the fact that you fixed it, great.
How
Go
you gonna
live your
ex a
best
family
life.
member?
I'll show you after this. It's easier than you think.
Yo, you funny,
Okay.
man. You funny. You big funny for
So
sure. For sure, for sure.
for sure. Okay. It's easy, you know?
Damn.
So yeah, I feel like once somebody's showing you who they are, you have to believe it. I know we say that all the time, but you really, really do. I have to believe that this is who you are. Now, whether you get better or not, you change that thing or not, that doesn't matter to me because you show me who you are, and that does not serve me. This is something that I said does not serve me. You did said thing. Bye. It's just that simple. But we get so wrapped up in the other shit that we keep it and we pulling the shit that doesn't need to
Yeah,
be
but the
there.
other wait, I mean, see, and
See,
that's probably
see,
why I'm
see,
still stuck
see,
now. You
see,
know what I'm
see,
saying?
here
I'm
you
still
go. Here
because
you go.
people
Because
change,
people
man.
change, right? But they're not changing for you, and you holding them back from being where they need to be and who they need to be with because you're around. Stop filling up spaces that you don't need to be. You cannot put something into something that's already full. If the wrong person is filling up this space, if the wrong job is filling up this space and you don't leave it or whatever the fuck it is, or the wrong person is filling up the space because you see that they change, first of all, like I said before, and I will keep saying it to save as many people in the world as I can. You do not need to communicate with anybody that you have removed from your life. If y'all no longer have that title, whatever, cousin, partner, uncle, whatever, friend, whatever it is, remove. Not spectate, not hold around, not no, remove
What if they
it.
not removed? What if they
Then
not
you need
removed?
to then how they not removed out of your life? This your life, ain't it? The fuck? This your life. If they're not removed, that means you have no control. And what does that say about you of your own fucking life? You keep laughing at me, man.
Cause you funny. Not only that, it's the faces that you might like.
The
The
fuck?
fuck?
Yeah, the fuck? No, hell no.
Fuck shit, damn. You know what I'm
Ain't
saying?
yeah, ain't nobody about to be around me that I don't fucking deem it. If you didn't do the things that I wanted when you had the title, why the fuck am I keeping you around when you don't got it? That's stupid on my part. The fuck? I gave you the trophy and you was like, nah. And now I'm thinking you're gonna do well without the trophy. Make that shit make sense. So no. Those people that change, they should and they will, hopefully. Wish them all the best. I'll never see it. It's not a part of my story anymore. That chapter's done. When I'm reading chapter 8, the words from chapter 4 are not still on the page. That's stupid. The chapter is done. I'm in chapter 8 now. I don't even remember all the shit that happened in chapter 4, and I shouldn't, but it built me to chapter 8. That's all I
Uh,
needed it for, was to build me to the next chapter. Not keep it around, not linger around. This ain't Goosebumps, where you be like, if you want to see what happened here, go back to this page. Fuck no. It's not fucking Goosebumps.
I
You know
don't
what I'm
remember what it was
saying?
called.
Oh my God, really? The books, it would be like you can make the story whatever you wanted it to be by going back to certain pages and this and that. You can alter the story as you read it.
Oh,
So
didn't they have that little flip things where you can do that?
I think no, it's just like regular. If you
No,
wanted to, if you wanted to
those
be like
books.
this,
Those books that you can flip. Like on the page, they had like a flippy sticker note or something like that. To where
mm,
instead of it read that, like if you want to change it, you can just flip that over, read another version of it, and you can keep flipping the other ones on the respective pages for that.
it's basically the same shit. It's
Yeah, okay.
basically yeah, it's basically the same thing. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't the Goosebumps books that I read or had read to me, but it's basically the same shit. And it's like that's how I live my life. Shit. I hope many people listen to that because it's so much easier to move on. It's harder to hold. Holding on is hard. Letting go is easy. Tug of war. Just think of it like that. You holding on to all that shit you pulling, you holding on to it for what? Just let that shit go. You can walk away. You can just walk away and live a good life.
Okay. So I mean, even with that, do you not you choose not to communicate with those people, or you chose to communicate and they didn't show any advancement and you just left?
I'm going to communicate with you as long as you have the title. If you get fired from a job, you don't have weekly check-ins with that job still. What is there to talk about? You're no longer the employee. You didn't hold the title. We saw something or you saw something that meant that you no longer needed to work here. You're not
What's
about to
your
keep on up
analogies for
there
me?
because that's what it is,
You
man.
analogize the shit out of shit.
I'm just telling you
Like
that's because I need see you see the layers that I go through. I need people to
there's the
understand what I'm
layers.
saying. You
Yeah,
no
but
longer have the title. But
I
why
think
but to answer more directly, yes, as long as you have the title, I will have that communication with you. But once I start to realize that I'm projecting my potential onto you, or you're just doing all this talking and you're not actually wanting to change, or if I get to a point in my mind where I'm changing you for the betterment of our relationship or for the betterment for the benefit of myself and not for you, you gotta go. Or I gotta go. One of us, but we gotta go. But the communication, hell yeah, the communication. Come on now. I'm a talker. And I
Right.
don't just talk just to
And
talk. I
that's
actually really want to communicate and
yeah,
listen.
but I think even with that, gender wise, I think women communicate out loud, you
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? But they process internally, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And dudes just try to fix it right then and there and then just move on. You know what I'm saying? So while you're processing it later on in life, that's why I'd be like, oh, people use like stuff that happened in the past as ammo, whether it's friend or friend, family, whatever situation is, relationship,
Mhm.
whatever. Like you bring it back up as in like, oh, I thought this was over and done with. Now you're still living there. All right, so let's go back and revisit it.
Yeah.
Let's deal with it again. Deal with the new stuff and then close it off, only to go further down the line to deal with a new thing, to go back to this one and to go back to that one. So I got to keep fixing problems that I keep fixing that's never fixed, really. They not really fixed. I got to keep fixing problems, which I'm viewing as ammo, because it's
Right.
like, let's close this out and not really bring it up in the midst of an argument to where it's not beneficial to getting a solution for the current problem. Like,
And I would say you are correct. Sometimes it is brought up in a way that it's not beneficial. It's to stack offenses against you. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Which we talked about in the, how do we handle problems
right, for
episode. You
sure.
know what I'm saying? But
Episode or two ago, for sure.
yeah, so we talked about it then, and or you could be bringing up in a way to draw comparison to the emotion or the
The
whatever, because I need you to understand the depth of what it is that we're talking about. I need you to understand these layers. So just like the last conversation we had, will be blah blah blah. You see how I brought up the that we talked about this in other podcasts. You knew that I was bringing it up in a way to draw similarities, not to attack you. To be like, we already talked about this. Why? You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's a way that
it's,
you can do it.
I agree. It's a
Mhm.
it's a way to do. It's just more so finding the way to do it without actually um, feel like it's being used in a more
Negative way, a hurtful
yeah,
way. I
yeah,
I think it depends on who your person is, right? Because if you find yourself in that type of situation, even after you communicated, then that's probably not your person. You should probably just leave. Advocate for that. Go where
it's
you are
tough.
celebrated. But I think that how you do that as the person who always perceives, and I probably should have said this in the last episode, but for the person who perceives it as an attack, I think you should do some research within, because that might be more of a reflection of how you view the world versus how the world is actually showing up. So that might be something that you need to fix.
Right,
And then two, if that's your person and you love them and you know that they love you and you really know that they have your best interest at heart, then a thing that my auntie Crystal always says is assume positive intent. I'm going to assume you are innocent until proven guilty. So I'm going to assume that you bringing that up is not an attack, but you bringing it up for a reason. And I'm not going to hear it as an attack. I'm not going to take it as a dagger to the heart. I'm going to listen to what you're saying, get through it. And then if I'm still confused at the end of it, I might be like, okay, well, why did you bring that up though? I don't
right.
understand. And then y'all could talk about it. Oh, I did that because I wanted you. You know what I'm saying? It might not be the appropriate to bring it up in the middle of it if you feel attacked. Be like, well, why are you bringing that up? It's just like because it's the, yes, you know what I'm saying. So there's a right time to do this shit, but assume positive intent unless you know, because we always know, man or woman, you always know if you're communicating with somebody who's your person or not, or who's actually for you or not, or somebody who cares as deeply as you do, or gives a fuck, or if you should be there. If you feel like this is that real thing, then assume positive intent, and then assess later, because they might actually be bringing it up as a weapon. And if you don't want that and you voice that and you tell them that and it still ain't fixed, then sayonara. You gotta go. I gotta go. Fuck it. You ain't leaving, I'll leave. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. So,
I
yeah.
mean, it hits deep because communication just ain't about words. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
it's connection, it's trust, it's understanding, it's action. It's a lot of things, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So trying to actually lock in and try to like figure out what the problem is
Yeah.
and get into a solution during that problem.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure if we talked. I know we talked about it a bit off 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 screen, but
Mhm.
I feel like no, we did. It was like, does every problem have a solution?
Mhm.
And I said yes. So I feel like if the solution can be found in that moment that the
Mhm.
problem is mentioned, great. But
Mhm.
also, there are still going to be times where that problem is still going to be a problem after the solution is there. And that's the part that I try to avoid because I want to fix it, move on, and not let it be a thing again. You know what I'm saying? So it's more so about catch and release. Catch the problem, figure it out, release the problem. You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
So,
that's
okay. So speaking of catch and release, right? Just sticking with the whole fish thing. If you're like, okay, I need to go get dinner. I'm about to go catch a fish, right? You caught the fish. Now what? You got the steps in order to get it to the dinner table, right? You want the fish for dinner, you caught the fish for dinner. There's steps that are involved in that. And I think men think, let me go catch a fish. Women think, okay, if we're gonna catch the fish, then we got to make sure we got the appropriate attire to go catch the fish, and we got to make sure it's it's all the different layers that go into the thing. And so I would say because I want to ask more directly, like, what do you think is an appropriate way, or how can men and women communicate better with each other? And I know we've been saying it in a roundabout way throughout this conversation, but how do you think that they communicate? How they can communicate better? I think it does take one, both parties being willing to even communicate. Because if you
right.
got somebody who doesn't want to communicate, who just don't want to hear that shit, just why would you ever think that somebody needs to be around you? You
In
know
a
what I mean?
relationship or work. I agree.
Exactly. Like you don't need to be around that. Toxic environments or whatever the
Friendship.
fuck we want to call
So
it. Yeah.
uh,
Leave. That's not somewhere that you need to be. Off rip, you ain't. The disrespect is right there for you. You know what I'm saying? So leave that. But I feel as though if you go into it with the goal first, which is hard to do. If there's an
go
issue,
orient.
if
Yeah.
there's a problem, and it's like, okay, hey, you doing this, and okay, you doing, okay, look, one of us got to be like, hey, and I know women will probably look for the man to do that because it's the leadership thing, and I think that men probably should want to do that more because it'll help them feel like that control or whatever it is that they want. You know what I'm saying? While we trying to get rid of toxic masculinity, this is a way for you to still quote unquote show your masculinity or your dominance in a conversation by saying, whoa, what's the goal here that we're trying to achieve? Let me pull this in. What's the goal that we want to achieve with this? You want to feel understood, you want to this, you all of the above. What is it? What's the actual problem here? The actual problem is that I have to keep telling you things to do. It's probably not the fact that you didn't do those dishes this time, but it's probably the fact that it's become a pattern that I have to keep telling you these things. And it makes me feel like you don't care or you're not as this and you're not as that. And then y'all can handle that versus you keep doing this. You did it the last time. Okay, so why are you bringing it up? We already talked about this. You know what I'm saying? I feel like,
Yeah, but that lacks emotional intelligence, and that's you need that as a communicator. You need to learn how to know when to or be more mindful, aware of how to address something.
mm-hmm,
So skills for a woman or a man,
mm-hmm,
I think you need to be an active listener, not
mm-hmm,
just a listener, but an active one.
mm-hmm,
Um, Emotional intelligence, like I said, because that lets you know that you can tune into your own and you can tune into other people's feelings.
mm-hmm,
Key thing. Um, Clarity and honesty, like that's really big on communicating because you want to say what you mean and not dance around whatever the problem is, right?
yep,
Um, Empathy. Empathy is kind of tough for people to kind of convey because you have to understand the other person's perspective versus your own. So even if you disagree, you still
mm-hmm,
got to you got to tap in and be like, you know what? Let me see how you're thinking about this, so I can actually connect with
Mhm.
what you're seeing and what you're saying, and then provide a reasoning or a statement to let you know, like, I see why you see it this way, but this is the reason why I don't see it this way, and I want you to understand that as well. If y'all can both see perspectives, that might actually help get to a solution quicker.
Mhm.
Um, Nonverbal awareness. Um, that means like body language. That means not just sitting with your own arms folded or
But
looking
see,
out elsewhere, and your tone, your eye contact. You gotta say more than words with your body. Body language is an actual communication skill. And number six, and I'm gonna just make this the last one. The last one is pretty much, it's a combo. It's more like patience and presence. Don't just rush to respond, but be with the person, be in the moment. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Everything that I just mentioned are top communication skills that you can use when you're friends, family, work,
Mhm.
relationships, anything. Use these, I swear. Every everything will be solved in a most healthy way as possible
Mhm.
versus being toxic or anything to that degree. So, I mean, be a strong communicator, develop these skills, try to horn, not horn, hone into these things
Yeah.
and try to develop a pattern, or more like create an acronym to yourself, to like when things getting heady, just like automatic mantra. Just be like, blah, 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 blah. Okay. All right. Now I'm getting into a safe space or a
Mhm.
bubble to where I need to understand that we're going to communicate probably passionately with each other, but at the same time, I want to communicate effectively. You know what I'm saying? So,
And I agree with some of those. When we talked about the problem solving thing, I still don't agree with like in totality with like the posture and the tone of things because I feel like if you are mad and angry and you showing up mad and angry, like I feel like you should have the freedom to do that, and I should have the freedom to do that as well if that's what it takes to get it out. With the baseline understanding that I'm not attacking you, you're not attacking me, but we're attacking the problem. So I guess to what you're saying is like I'm gonna scrunch my face up, and this face right here in my last relationship, oh my god, it was such a problem. But it's like I don't understand what you're saying. Or as you're talking, I'm trying to get it. And you could take it as disrespect, like what the fuck you talking about? But I'm really not. I'm just expressive. But it caused a lot of issues. And I even when I explained that, even it still was like causing issues. But I agree with what you said. I think other pieces that go into it, and if you did say these things, I apologize for maybe not hearing it correctly or whatever.
go ahead.
But some other things that I feel, and I tell you this, we talk about this, is like when you say things like when you're communicating, especially if it's a problem. But regardless, we all do this. I'm saying, speaking of absolutes, but as humans, we do this where we're like, "I'm fine, I'm good. No, it's okay, it's cool." I feel like when women say that to men, men take that as it's fine, she's okay, she's cool. When she's the exact opposite, right?
So why not talk in clarity then? Why
And and
not
I
tell me?
And that's the other part I was gonna go into is like mean what you say and say what you mean. And if you go in it with the goal in mind, I can't talk right now when we in problem solving or we in communication mode, like real communication mode. I can't go into it with the I'm cool, I'm fine, because I'm guilty of that. I'm like I'm cool, it's good, because I'd rather just solve the problem on my own, or I'm weighing my options of should I stay or should I leave, when really I should communicate that, which I have been doing. I'll communicate. You know what? I'm really stuck between staying and going because X, Y, and Z, rather than just being like, it's fine or I'm good, because I'm not good and I'm not fine.
Right.
And I don't want to keep training my brain to think that this type of thing should become my norm. This is not okay.
Right.
This is
So
not
the
cool.
so the directness and with
Yes.
directness with boundaries is what you're kind of speaking with, because
Hmm.
it's okay to be firm without over explaining. If
Hmm.
If it's not fine or if it's not okay, just be like, okay, that doesn't work for me.
Mhm.
And that's a complete sentence. That
Yeah.
is a direct statement letting you know, like, hey, I'm not fine, or hey, that doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
agree.
let me, yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? But I do think starting with like, sorry, but it's kind of like not really speaking in the tone or in the light that you want to speak in, because you will want to speak with confidence. You don't want to downplay or apologize to get to your point. Like,
Yeah.
if you're gonna give me your perspective, don't hit me with a sorry before that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you're not sorry. Because once you say sorry, but that just voided that shit out. You know what I'm saying? If you're
Yeah.
sorry, okay, be sorry. But if you're not sorry, give me what you're trying to say. Give me your point on the space that you're taking in the conversation. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You don't have to like downplay how you feel about it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
But you don't want to like over explain with your feelings as well, because emotional intelligence is power. But don't feel like you need to justify your emotions constantly, because that's what it is. Like, I feel this way, I feel this way. I told you already that I felt this way, I feel that way. And it's just certain skills that you can practice. And
I have my hand up.
oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay. I'm with you with what you're saying, but I think just coming from a man, you will think, "Wait, let me get it out
Nah, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
first."
Be
You
playing. No, go ahead.
you'll think that, uh you'll think that I'm over emotional or I'm over explaining at the first sign of emotion because men typically think that we should be able to do this without the emotions coming in. As soon as emotions come in, now don't get me wrong, there are some horrible people in this world who will use
Right,
their emotions or men who will use their silence or whatever as a form of punishment or as a form of manipulation.
right.
Got it. But let's just say for the ones that aren't, you will take that as I'm trying to win the argument or win the conversation or
Get the
win
last
this
word. Mhm.
exactly, but that's not it. It's just that this is me using my emotions, and when I say that I feel this and I feel that, I know they say feelings aren't fact, and sometimes in some situations I will say feelings aren't fact, but these are the facts that I have to go off of. This made me feel, I can't deny that it made me feel that way. I can't
Right,
deny that it's making me feel this way. And so when I have run into men who will be like, feelings aren't fact, they are though. I'm telling you that I feel this. When you do this, it makes me feel this. That is a fact. My body is feeling this. My brain is feeling this. So treat it as such. And I think that we could get further with that as well, where you understand, like, just because I'm as a man, I can't express this feeling or I don't know it as well as she does or as deeply as she does, I can't disregard it because I'm not well versed in the topic of feelings. That it's okay. Let's come to this solution together. I'm overversed and you're underversed. I don't even know if that's how you're supposed to
that's
say it.
tough,
But you know
but
what I'm saying? Like, let's come
yeah,
to a middle ground with that where it's like, okay, that's why I think that all communication just should start with some form of understanding or wanting to gain understanding. I always say that. I want to gain understanding. I want you to understand what I'm saying. I want to understand what you're saying so that we can actually get to a solution. And that requires us both doing things that we don't want to do. You don't want to listen to me forever and ever and ever or see me crying or whatever. And I don't feel like your silence or the tug of war or the power struggle that I feel like I'm getting with you or whatever. I feel like I got to pull it out of you. But if that's what we got to go through and we're both actually showing up and trying, let's validate each other. I understand why you feel that way. I get why you feel that. I understand whatever. Let's validate it. If there's room for an apology, let's offer it. But let's not just offer it for the sake of being like, I've apologized for this. I apologize for that. No, it doesn't matter. Like if it really is authentic and it's real, then yeah, do it. But if it doesn't fit in the conversation at the time, don't do it. Which is another part. Like timing is everything. When are
right.
we having this conversation? Good or bad? When are we having this conversation? You know what I'm saying? Like Let's make sure that we're actually in a space, which is why I'll say, "Hey, I want to talk about such and such around this time because it might not be the time right now." Yes, it is very important, but this just etiquette, conversation etiquette. Let's make sure that we're having this at the right
Yeah, but
time.
you can I think that's true, but sometimes I feel like there's so much of emotional reaction or
Mhm,
emotional impulse that like in the moment you're like, you know what? Wow, like it's happening just right now. You know what I'm saying? And you can be at work, you can be in a meeting,
mhm.
you can be in front of other people,
Right.
and you don't want people to actually be in your mouth or be in the conversation, or you can be in a car, you can be anywhere,
Mhm.
and at that moment like you can say something that somebody disagree with, and at that point in time they're going to start the conversation without you wanting to start it at that point in time. So yeah, I do think like there's a time and place for
Yeah.
everything, but once your impulse takes over
Right.
and then it starts happening, you can't really fault the other person to be like, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna give you a call back when it's more convenient
I'm
for that."
faulting you. I'm faulting you for saying that because there's a better way to say it. We talking about communication. There's a better way to say it. Instead of me being like, you know what, I'm gonna call you back because right now I just don't have the time. I'm at work. I ain't got it. We'll talk about it later. A better way to say it, I believe, would be I see that you're upset. I see that there's something that I've done to make you upset, or there's some problem here with us, and I really want to solve it. I want us to get to the bottom of it, and I don't want you lingering with this all day. So, because I'm not in a space to give this problem, this issue, the full time and attention that it needs, I want to be able to do that for you. I want to be able to do that for us. So, how about when I get off at 5, I'm going to call you. In the meantime, I want you to spend the rest of your time doing something that you love and enjoy. Is there something that I could do for you? Is there whatever? I'm gonna be at work. I'm gonna do this, and when I get off, we're gonna talk about this because I don't want this to stay present with us. I don't want this issue. Blah blah blah. One is really you saying how you care about the person and wanting to solve the problem, and the other one feels like you got your sword out because I got my sword out.
Right.
So if we're talking about emotional intelligence and communication, your emotional intelligence shouldn't tell you to just react off the cuff just because I am.
Yeah,
Redirect
but
it either way.
it's the awareness of like I probably don't have the ability to say all the words that you just said. So, my directness is probably coming off as rude or whatever the situation is. And in that moment in time, I'm probably not tapping into the emotional side to translate that. But at the same time, it's more so like you're sore out, you're heated. You know what I'm saying? So to prevent me from taking mine out, let me go ahead and just halt this right now. Be direct with you, like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna call you so we can talk about this after work. If it's too direct, I mean, if you want me to soften the blow,
It's
because
this
that's
It's
what it sounds like.
dismissive. It's dismissive because I don't know what you're saying. I don't know if you really wanna have this conversation because again, you're saying it's too many words, so you haven't even told me yet that because you're doing this or doing that, especially if I'm accustomed to you talking at work, you telling me that you at work and you can't have this conversation right now is gonna mean that you just don't wanna have a conversation. You using work as an excuse. So if you got the time to say, hey,
That's that's
whatever,
fair.
whatever, you can, even if you only got fucking 30 seconds, you could be like, baby, I love you. I want to solve this problem. Let's talk about it after work when I can give it its full time and attention. I love you. We will talk today at 5. I get off at 5. We will talk then. Okay. I understand. Be frustrated, be upset, be mad. You got every right to, I understand it. But we going to tackle this problem together
Okay.
later.
So
Boom.
what about if it's a friend or your boss?
Either,
I'll tell them the same thing.
you
Hey,
don't
hey,
say,
friend, baby, I
no, you
love
don't
you,
say,
and
"Hey, friend, baby." No, you don't. But you will at work. You could be like I've done. Hey, I want to. Usually, it's done over email first before you can set up the time. I don't just well, I don't anymore. Just throw time on people's calendar, but I used to because it's like, bitch, I'm ready to talk. Man, fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? But
no, direct, huh?
too direct. But it was because I was selfish. I just wanted this done when I wanted it done when I needed it done. Fucking how the other people may feel
Yeah,
or
you
whatever.
don't care about nobody. Yeah,
But
you and you.
see, but see, I do. I do. And I want the problem actually solved. So I'll message somebody and I'll say, hey, I know that you brought up this concern during the meeting and we didn't have time to discuss it, but I want to be able to blah, 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 blah. When is a good time for us to get together and connect on the issue and keep making the issue a thing instead of you. I didn't like how you talked to me during the meeting, and when you said, you know what I'm saying? I could teach you how to be angry later, but right now the issue is the issue. You know what I'm saying? We was cool before the issue, so the issue is the issue.
Right.
You're now if we wasn't cool before the issue, then
Yeah.
you the
I
issue,
got you.
and you know what I'm saying? So that's a different story. But if we
I
cool
got you.
before the issue is the issue. So it's just all in how you say it. But I agree with what you said. I'm just saying there's a better way to say it that
Yeah,
shows
no.
that
You
you
show
care.
more emotional and
Mhm.
passion to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's possible, especially for us men. We can probably do that. And even with that being said, you can absorb how you feel,
Mhm.
but that don't mean you don't show less care just because you say certain things, right?
What you mean by
So
that?
what I mean by that is that you can show that you care without absorbing somebody else's emotion. Okay.
Mhm.
So just because I say it this type of way, I'm not showing lack and not knowing that you feel some type of way.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to convey it the best way that I can
Mhm.
with the emotional capacity that I have available to me
Mhm.
to give you that message. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And take it as you may. I'm on your team, but I'm just letting you know, like, hey, this is not one of them moments. But I think a lot of men, once arguments happen, off top, first one, they feel disrespected, no matter if it's a friend, family member, relationship, anything. They feel disrespected, you know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, I would say us as men, we should say how we feel, not just how we think. So say
Mm.
what you say what you feel and not what you think, you know what I'm saying? Just be like, I feel disrespected when, instead of, oh, that's messed up. You know what I'm saying? This not be more be more expressive with
Mhm.
expressing your emotions clearly. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying?
I like
Because
that.
I think we definitely just go deep deep dive in direct and
Mhm.
then just call it what it is. And then on top of that, I also think we should ask more open-ended questions versus being like,
Yes,
"Hey, are
Lord.
you okay?"
Yes, Lord. Say it again.
Ha-
Y'all should do what?
Ask more open-ended questions other
Yes,
than
Lord.
like, "Hey, are you okay?" And instead of saying, "Hey, are you okay?" be more like, "Hey, how did that affect you?"
Yes. Yes, Lord. Pick your mic up. Turn your volume up. Say that shit again. I was playing. No, but for
like,
real, for
yeah,
real.
just go deeper than yes and no's. Like
Yes.
we should be able to like tap in. We should be able to drop our armor and show our truth because our true strength is honestly open. You know what I'm saying? So let's just be more open and honest
Yes.
and not always feel like we're having to pull out our swords and our shields
To people that you
going
put in your
going into
circle.
battle.
You
Yeah,
put
not
these
only in
people in
our
your
circle
circle.
that we love, that we care for, that we appreciate. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
That's what I'm
Like
saying.
show
They're
that
not.
appreciation by showing
Yes, these are people that you put into your life. And so
right,
because of that, you should only have people in your life that you care about that are even worth that type of conversation. If they're not worth it, then we ain't even having no conversation on top. But if you put them in there, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But if you put them in your life in whatever capacity that they are, or you're allowing them to remain, my assumption, because you love yourself and you care about yourself, men and women, is that you think that they care about your best interest and you care about theirs. So your armor shouldn't even be on around me. Save that for the people outside of the circle.
right,
So I
right.
agree with you. Like, think about that when you are having conversations with people. Stop looking at it as like a competition or a war or a fight. It's not that. We both care about each other. And if you feel like you keep fighting or with whoever it is, there's an imbalance. And one of y'all don't care about the other or as much or whatever. And when you see that imbalance, that's time for you to leave that situation.
Right. And it's okay if there is an imbalance because all you can do at that point in time is like validate their feelings
Mhm.
and not, and you don't necessarily have to solve it right then and there. What you can say in that particular moment is like, you know what? That sounds really hard to hear, but I get why you feel that way.
And then I'm gonna hit your ass with a do you? Why you get it? How do you get it? And then I'm a dig deep. You digging in me?
I mean, if you
Oh shit, you digging?
what just happened?
Oh god, I cannot believe I just said that. You
You said
digging
it.
in me?
And she, yeah, you said it.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. You know
Yeah,
what? If
and
I
we're keeping it. No, you ain't. No, you ain't editing that out. No, They need to see you.
damn,
Yeah, Ugh. Yeah, got your
push
ass
it down.
down to your foot. So you know what I'm saying. They're gonna see.
Yeah, go
They're gonna
ahead.
see how you really. But nevertheless, and even in that moment, like, doing validation or trying to just sitting without like a solution, sitting in silence or in discomfort isn't bad. Okay, that don't mean that you're not trying to fix it. That just means you're not trying to fix it right away. Okay. Sometimes the presence is a solution.
Sometimes very, very slim. Depends on who you. And look, I know we wrapping this up. It just depends on who you're talking to, who you're with, because sometimes people will table things and it never gets tabled. We come from a culture as Black people where things are swept under the rug.
Right.
So, and I know this show's for everybody, but I'm saying specifically to my people. That's all I can speak to. We come from we gonna table that, then that shit just gets swept up under the rug, and then now I'm bringing it back up again. You thought we was past it. Yeah, we aren't really. We haven't handled it. So if you see that this person is a person that kind of pushes things to the side or never really attacks it, then you might just want to again take a step back up out of here, piece up out of here. But if you see that this person has the capability to table things and then come back to them and is okay with it, then yeah, do it. But I'm just saying that because I don't want people to stay stagnant or stuck in things. That type of mindset can keep you stuck, waiting for anticipating something. And that will never happen because you're in the wrong environment. You got the wrong friend, you got the wrong job, you got the wrong spouse, whatever the hell. So I totally agree with you. Just I guess what I'm trying to say is be aware of yourself. Be aware of yourself and how you communicate, what your likes and dislikes are. And then understand that everybody doesn't communicate like you, especially woman to man. You know, men don't necessarily communicate like women. Women don't necessarily communicate like men. We have bits and pieces from each other or whatever, and take that into account. Stop looking at it like as it's an attack. If you feel like you got
Nigga
to go to
tag, yeah.
war or attacking this person or whatever the case may be, then it's not worth the conversation. It's not worth your time, and you need to do some self work and or get that person about your life. But you know what I'm saying? Like if it's worth it, then go into it with understanding that y'all going to communicate differently. And that's okay because at the end of the day, the problem is the problem or the thing is the thing.
Yo, it's already been 2 hours. That's crazy.
I know, right?
Let me get my long winded close
Nah,
out
it ain't,
thing.
it ain't long
Yeah.
winded. It ain't long winded. Hey, listen, they just watched a almost 3 hour show last week. So,
No,
you
that's
know,
true.
they like to listen to what we got to say. And again, y'all can always be a part of the conversation. I know you're gonna talk about that. But y'all can always be a part of it. And y'all have been, in
Yeah, I
comments and
appreciate y'all for
DMs,
being
all of that.
commenting,
Hmm.
sending questions, sending responses, sending
Responding to the
messages.
stories and
Right.
actually
And
filling
what
out the form to be on the show. We seen all of the requests that people, wanted to be on the show. So we appreciate that. It's happening. We've recorded episodes, got some other ones coming out. Like, yeah.
yeah, we see y'all, and we are, like I said, this is a platform for everyone to feel safe. You
Yes.
know, um, so many of us think that we're communicating, but we're really just reacting, um, talking at each other instead of talking with each other. And it all starts with understanding the difference between hearing and listening. Okay,
Yeah.
hearing is automatic, right? It happens without effort. Like right now you're hearing me, but are you actually listening to me? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It takes intention, it takes attention, and it's a decision to be present versus a decision to not,
Right.
so stay open. And when you meet someone at their truth, not just at your version of your truth. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And I know sometimes it's between the ego and the pride situation, but there's a fine line in between I respect myself and I need to prove myself. Okay.
Mm.
One connects with the other one, and the other one is a protection situation.
Mhm.
So figure out where you land at, and hopefully you can actually connect with the other people. You know, so let's be real, y'all. Whether you're a man to taught to hold it in, or you're a woman that's conditioned to play it small, we all have inherited some of these communication habits that don't always serve us in the best way. But you know, growth starts when it becomes conscious of mind to not just y'all, but it comes conscious of mind to ourselves, you know. And the better communication isn't always about talking about it, it's about Mm. about transforming how we show up. So choosing the curiosity over the control is great. Okay.
I like
You
that.
don't always have to be in control. Vulnerability over performance. Okay.
I like
You
that.
don't always have to perform.
Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah.
Hey, you know, I be trying. You feel me? So, with all that being said, that's what this space is for. You know, it's for anyone and everyone to listen, who is ready to unlearn, relearn, and then step into something more real. Not all truth lives in black and white. Most of them lives in the gray. Okay, so if you're here listening and you're ready to be a part of this conversation, don't forget to fill out the form, contact us on Instagram, join our Patreon. There are so many
Yeah.
things that you can do to show that you're ready to be a part of the conversation. And hey, you can just tell us things to post as a poll and we'll post it.
Yeah. Back.
You're already a part of the process. You know what I'm saying? You're choosing to reflect over react.
Yeah.
That's growth over your ego. You feel me? Appreciate y'all for walking with us through this messy middle where the answers aren't always simple, but the questions matter more. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. I like that. I like it a lot.
It's different, right?
Yeah, I like that. You so dope for that. I could never close us out or open us. Nah, you so dope for that.
We really appreciate y'all,
We
like
really do.
for real.
We
You
really, really
know,
do.
and we will continue to give y'all some dope content. If
Yeah.
y'all agree with anything she said or anything that I said, feel free to let us know.
Yes.
Um,
Follow us. Enter the Gray, right? Enter the
enter
Gray
the
podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
there
a
you
great
go.
podcast on Instagram.
Yep.
If you're watching this on YouTube, that is, and if you're um, on YouTube as well, you can also follow us on Patreon at Into the Gray,
Yes. And
which
y'all
is
can
also
go
go ahead,
ahead. No, go ahead.
which is also
Oh shit.
half of our other segment that we do called the Critics Couch, which is on me. I'm slacking. I
No,
got
no,
you.
no, no. You good. You good. I was gonna get
Okay.
into that. So you good.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so join us on Patreon. Listen, y'all can join for free. Y'all ain't gonna get shit if y'all join for free.
Yeah, if you join for free, you won't get nothing but
You ain't gonna get
updates.
nothing,
You
but
know
you
what I'm
could,
saying?
yeah, you could join. But if you it's only $6. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Six.
It's threes.
Six. It's threes. Okay?
That's why it's $6 because it's
That's
threes,
it.
and $6. You can
Yeah.
be getting the
The
episode
behind the
quicker
scenes, you get the episodes
behind the
quicker, you
yeah.
get the behind the scenes, you actually be here on this platform where we record. You could come up, we do an after show. You could be a part of the after show. We'll shout you out in our show, which shout out to Pej Official. Okay.
He official for that, yes
Shout out
sir.
to Pej Official.
Page
Okay.
a real one.
Tej is a real one. Been that's a solid ass
He's
motherfucker.
solid,
Okay.
solid.
Been solid for years. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's my guy.
Like,
But yeah, so shout out to him. But you can be a part of our Patreon in a part of the community. Like we have a lot of stuff. Like you said, the Critics Couch, that's a whole separate podcast that we have where yes, some things will be posted on YouTube and whatnot, and maybe even like little clips, but like the actual Critics Couch, like this is lit. It's
probably gonna be
nothing.
on. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna be on Patreon for
Yeah, it's
sure.
gonna be on
I mean,
Patreon. It's nothing.
on Patreon for sure.
Yeah, it's not like Into the Gray. Like in this episode that y'all about to see coming up, we went and tried all these different foods. We watched this horrible ass movie. Okay, it wasn't horrible. It was
Sheesh.
it was a movie. It was a movie. So yeah, you're gonna see
Y'all
like
just stay tuned. You feel
yeah,
me?
just
Stay tuned.
just stay tuned. And we appreciate the support no matter what. Tell a friend and yeah, we'll see y'all next weekend.
Right. We'll see
Or
y'all
next week, not
next
next
week.
weekend. We'll see y'all next week.
See y'all next week. We appreciate y'all joining the Gray. and entering with us.
Yeah.
And until next week,
Bye.
later.